Well, we want to take some time to bring it on with the email questions that you've submitted. Pat, this first one comes from Deb, who says, my spouse bought me a new iPad yesterday. I let him load it, and it requested either a thumbprint or a password. When he asked me to give my thumbprint, I walked away and said, fingerprints are for criminals, and I won't submit to one in my own home. Plus, I felt this had Mark of the Beast written all over it. I feel I'm right by refusing the fingerprint, but he doesn't think so. What are your thoughts?
Well, it also says you can have a password, and I don't see anything wrong with having a password. I've got a password on mine that you hit 4 digits and the thing turns on. So
I used to use that on my phone, and I went to the thumb because you just push it and it opens it up. I mean, it's my personal phone.
I don't think that's the mark of the beast. I think the whole idea of the Antichrist is that your forehead is your volition, your hand is your action. And what it says is I'm giving my volition and my action to an alien religious being. And I don't think putting a thumbprint on an iPad is exactly doing that. All right.
Okay, this is Mill, who says, I truly need your help. I've been a member of a church for over 10 years. We've never missed a time paying our tithes. The problem is, lately, I've noticed that things are not being done with the tithes as the Bible says. There are new motorcycles purchased, RVs, and so on. There are no programs to help the poor or to help those in need who attend the church. I feel the tithes are being used to benefit the pastor and his son's singing career. I've not been able to go back there because of the issues that are going on. I still pay my tithes, but I'm thinking about stopping. I want to do God's will, but this isn't right. Please help. I want to do the right thing.
Well, a church normally should have a board of deacons and maybe trustees that handle financial matters. There's a misuse of funds. I don't know how much of that may be illegal, actually, but whatever it is, it's wrong. The first thing you might do is to bring this up with the congregation or with the elders or whoever runs the church you're in and see if they can't do something about it. But on the other hand, it's so easy to, in today's world, to go to another church. You just say, see you later, and you go down the street to the next church.
But if you had questions like this, you wouldn't keep paying your tithe there.
No, you wouldn't. In a sense, the tithe belongs. You're not giving to the ministry; you're giving to Jesus. And but in any event, go ahead. That's the deal. If you really want to do it right, go to the elders and say, "Look, there's a serious problem we've got to deal with," and maybe they can correct it, and life will go on as normal.
Right. Okay, here's a viewer who says, I've heard that we can receive certain crowns in heaven depending on what we have or haven't done here on earth. I'm someone who's never had a physical relationship of any kind. Will I receive a crown if I remain a virgin until the day I die? And what are some of the other crowns one can also receive?
I don't know, but crowns being given to virgins. Do you know anything?
No, I really don't.
I mean, the whole idea of virgin is that in biblical context, that prostitution is giving yourself to a demonic being, and you've kept yourself free from that type of heresy. But the book of Daniel says, "They that lead many they that are wise shall shine like the stars, and they that lead many to righteousness like the stars in the sky." So that the idea of having wisdom and doing evangelism is like the stars. So, but it doesn't necessarily say stars and crown, but it says you'll be like the stars. All right.
Okay, this is Martha, who says, these days the world is full of technology. I want to say that I hate Bible apps because some people are not using real Bibles. The Bible is a powerful tool from God. Even some pastors are using their computers to read Bible verses instead of real Bibles. I think it's wrong. What do you think?
Well, I mean, hey, I get that Kindle thing, and I have dozens of books that I get on the iPad, and I read them on the iPad because it's easy.
They're as real as if you hold them in your hand.
You hold them in your hand, but the thing of it is you can get them,
Sure.
Call up and they put the book on your machine, and it takes them about 60 seconds to unload a whole book. and there it is before you see it coming on the machine, and it costs you a fraction of what it does if you buy it in hardback. So there ain't anything wrong with that. But on the other hand, some of these Bible apps, I agree, if it slices and dices the Bible, you need to have the Bible in context. I like a book in terms of the Bible where you can study it and turn the pages. But as far as fiction, hey, I read them by the handful. All right.
Okay, this is Mary who says, my live-in boyfriend is verbally and physically abusive. Although he's been in jail for it, he can't get his temper under control. He's a good man underneath his anger. I believed I could love him enough to make him want to change. I believed I could be an example for him. I also believed this is what God wanted me to do. Now I have doubts and fears that I may have taken on more than I can handle. It's not an option to just leave. I can't walk away, but I don't think this is going to work. Please help me.
I'll tell you what, God does not want you to live in a relationship of common law or activity. You're not married. You know, there was a woman by the well in Samaria, and Jesus said, give me some water. And she said, well, you know, all that stuff. And he said, well, go call your husband. And she said, I haven't got a husband. And he said, you're right, you've had 5 of them, and the one you're living with isn't your husband. But you know, you shouldn't, that relationship you've got is wrong, and you need to get it straightened out and legalized.